What is conking, my dear viewers? Welcome back to another 100% driver career mode with no assists, flashbacks, or race restarts, where we try to be as realistic as possible when playing through a full season of Formula 1. From full sim damage to manually driving every single in and out lap for every session, we like to take this seriously here at the Spark Racing team, no matter how brutal it may get. We also lower the amount of claim we receive to make it even more brutal and realistic based on our performances. And coming off of 2 back-to-back DNFs, things are pretty brutal for driver Simon and the Spark Racing team. The team fail an aero upgrade, so morale is pretty darn low, but not nearly as low as it was when we DNF'd a record 3 times in a row earlier this season. For the sake of Gunther and the rest of the Haas team, we do not want to start a pattern. We are only 2 races away from summer break, and we really need to convince the world that we belong in Formula 1. So the chip on our shoulder is only getting larger as we arrive at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. And much like the last 3 race weekends, we are forecasted a few wet sessions. We'll check the weather forecast again once we're on track, as it does seem to change and update the closer we get to the race. But the Spark Racing team is expecting a wet setup this weekend. We set the AI to 88 and head on to track. I know I like to say it a lot, and I've pretty much said it every single race weekend so far, but Austria really is my favorite track. Well, one of my favorite tracks. It really is hard to choose a favorite. Much like having a favorite movie, I have like 15 movies in my top 5 of all time. On the surface, Austria is an easy track to learn, even for non-sim racers. I usually like to send family and friends there for their first time on the rig, as it's a super approachable track to tackle. But even after almost 3 years of racing here, it is still very hard to master, particularly the tricky fast second sector. But man, nailing the apex of turn 1 is one of the most satisfying apexes on the calendar for me. The track is wet enough to use full wet tires for our first practice session. Other than one Spinalla moment during our first practice program, driver Simon keeps it pretty clean throughout the hour of practice. The rain eventually eases up enough to throw on the inters and allow us to practice on those as well. As we await for the weather to dry up, the Spark Racing team double checks with the weatherman about this weekend's forecast. Interestingly enough, now that we are on track, it looks like not only qualifying is going to be dry, but so will the sprint and feature race. The feature race does look like it'll have a wet portion halfway through it, so this should make for a very interesting race. But a kind of a boring decision when it comes to choosing a setup. We simply choose a dry one. And so when the sun comes out, so does the racing, as driver Simon has a couple of racy moments with our William rival.
That's how you do a switchback. This is good practice for a switchback, actually. Gotta break earlier. Woo-hoo! This is some good racing.
This is a great preview of the action-packed weekend we have ahead of us, both in the sprint and feature race. So let's not waste any more time and head on to qualifying.
Thank you. It's dry.
The AI is kept to 88, and we put in a solid 107.2 for our first banker lap.
107.2. Potentially P3, but I'll probably lose that.
Looking at where that puts us on the timing sheet, we are less than a tenth behind our biggest season arrival of Alfa Romeo and 4/10 ahead of Logan. I think when we switched the camera angle to spectate Nico, the game glitched a bit and caused Nico to lock up going into turn 1. No idea if that's actually the case, but he ends up being over a second behind us and potentially last going into the second sprint race of the season. As you can see, the cutoff point for Q2 is extremely narrow, so we all go out again one more time before the drop of the checkered flag. But due to some AI shenanigans on driver Simon's outlap, where the AI seems to slow down and refuse to pass you and immediately stick to your rear wing like melted marshmallows on graham crackers, driver Simon has a feisty Alpine right on our tail going into our flying lap. The scent of cigarettes and baguettes is too much for driver Simon, and he immediately makes a mistake coming out of turn 1.
I like you, Gas Man. Way better than Malcon, so. Oh no, he had to hesitate there, so he lost time. I'm starting to recognize Alcon by his helmet now.
We fall to P17, ahead of Nico and the Williams, but behind our current in-game rival, Juan Yujo. Look at how close the margins are for the best of the worst. This should make for some very close racing this weekend, as the Ferrari engine should help us and the Alfa Romeo out, but our lack of aero should keep the other back markers more competitive through the fast corners. We raise the difficulty to 90 to match how much quick we were to Nico and head on off to the second sprint race of the season.
Helped a lot for the actual feature race.
All the way here as we get ready for today's sprint.
It's a nice angle. That's a cool shot. It's kind of new. Great commentary.
Alright, so 24 laps around the Red Bull Ring to act as an appetizer before the main event. We know the AI can be pushed over pretty easy when they're bunched up on the first lap, but even then, points seem like a far-fetched idea for Driver Simon. So the Spark Racing team simply want Driver Simon to finish as closely to the top 10 as possible. Tires are nice and primed as we await for the 5 red lights to turn on. And someone's turned them off! And we're off Autorennen here in Spielberg, Austria. And a great getaway for Driver Simon, who gets himself up a place right off the start and into the inside line going into turn 1. We have a bit of contact with the AlphaTauri as we go through the apex, but we are through in one piece, heading up the hill into turn 2 or 3 depending on who you ask. Driver Simon sees an opportunity to go up the inside as the AI never properly defend the line, and we somehow get through even cleaner than we did turn 1. And with that move, we have moved up to P12 over the course of 2 corners. However, Driver Simon is unable to keep up to the cars ahead due to the fact that we are, in fact, human, and we need a few laps to get on the pace of the AI. Thanks to the help of DRS on lap 3, we begin scuffling with the Alpine and Alfa Romeo behind us. A feisty battle for P12 occurs.
Okay, P12 is the battle. What a dive bomb. Wow, I actually got DRS from that. Oh, man. Or not. Here we go, switchback time.
Driver Simon tries to play the DRS game by strategically letting cars overtake us, only for us to get right back on them once we get a DRS and a proper exit.
All Gucci though. Let's just stick behind them.
But this strategy can work against you if you cannot maintain the pace and gap. Or sometimes, they just might have the faster pace, as is the case for this. And so, the gas man is ahead. We start to get attacked by the Alfa Romeo on lap 6, which unfortunately costs some more time to Gasly ahead.
Oh shoot. Oh.
Yellow flag.
And the pastry also starts to have mechanical issues, which forces him to box, which was enough of a hindrance on our apex, so driver Simon is out of the DRS by the next lap.
So he's retiring in the pits? That's kind of realistic. Well, I don't have the pace against the Alpine today.
Okay, so that's Ricardo behind. Okay, gap to the car behind. 3.5 seconds.
Thankfully, the Alphas of both Romeo and Tori duke it out behind us, which allows driver Simon to keep P12 for the time being.
Oh my god, my rears are so toasty.
We are still nowhere near Gasly, who's starting to pull away from us.
Okay, shoes behind you now.
Yeah, they are battling.
Car behind trailing us. 1.9 seconds.
Despite their tussling behind, they're actually starting to close the gap to driver Simon. On lap 14, Lando is out of the race with a terminal mechanical problem. The boys in orange are not having a good day today, in complete contrast to their awesome weekend in Miami.
You've got 11, that's 11th place. Gasly's ahead of you. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 7.1 seconds. They're on
The gas man is still nowhere near us, and with mistakes like that, things are not looking good for us here on the final stage of the sprint race.
They're on old medium.
Lockup,
They'll catch the
huge
first
lockup.
places.
On lap 16, we begin a very strong battle with Danny Ricciardo for P11.
Come on, you can win
Kind of a
that
lame
race back.
switchback, but I'm learning how to do it smoothly, like, you know, they actually do it. See if we can do it again. Well, I guess not there. I can do it up here. Just get him on a DRS cleanly.
It's clear that they have the overall race pace on us, but driver Simon drives way more consistent and quicker when following behind another car. And with 3 back-to-back-to-back DRS zones, we have a lot to work with when employing our strategy of being overtaken going into a detection zone, only to regain our place with the help of DRS. The only reason why we are not able to properly break away is the tricky second sector. Driver Simon cannot confidently throw his car going through turn 6 through 8.
Alright, let's have a nice little inside-out scrap here.
This overtake dance with Danny Rick goes on for a few laps, but after a minor mistake going through the toughest part of the track, driver Simon loses his confidence and enough brain power to lose a car going through the final few corners. God fucking damn it.
Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy.
And I overcompensated. And now I lost the...
Okay, gap to the car ahead is 2.8 seconds.
We cannot start to feel sorry for ourselves as we still got 3 more laps and we've only fallen down to P16.
That one mistake costs so much more. I really hope P16 is better than nothing.
We can at least still save some face and still finish in front of the Williams. But man, what a hit to the morale. Fast forwarding to the end, we do manage to finish in front of Logan.
The only thing I got,
Alright,
checkered
race
flag.
over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Oh god, my head. My hair was not properly tied.
Starting the race at P17 and finish P16 is still considered a net positive result, so we'll take it as a Pyrrhic victory. Judging from our performance though, we are pretty confident driver Simon has the ability to score his first Formula 1 points in his Formula 1 career tomorrow in the feature race. Let's actually jump right into the cockpit right before the formation lap. I do not want this video to be any longer than it already is, and I know this is going to be an action-packed feature race. I also had some hard drive issues while recording this and lost the opening part of the race. But, oh well, who needs the in-game exposition when you got commentator Simon to provide all the necessary backstory? Looking at our race strats, it'll be a soft, medium two-stopper to get through 71 laps around the Red Bull Ring. According to the weatherman, there will be 3 sections worth of rain after the halfway point. A bold strategy from us would require us to go on mediums while the rest of the grid is on softs, hoping they'll have to box before the rain comes in, granting us track position when the crossover period does occur. But this is F123, where tire degradation is on steroids and undercutting is a stupidly strong strategy, especially against the AI. So we stick to our softs like the rest of the grid. Alrighty then, we have lined up on the grid for the second time this weekend. Will it be redemption day for driver Simon for yesterday's blunder and also to prove to the world that we still belong in Formula 1? The 5 red lights are on. And someone turned them off again, and we're off Autorennen here again in Austria. A good getaway from driver Simon grants him a few places as well as a clear outside line going into turn 1. He gets a way stronger exit compared to the Williams on our inside, and we are back on the inside line for that classic AI lunge. Woohoo! Wow, we somehow managed to get through despite the 3 wide moment and a lockup of the brakes.
Ooh, we made it work. That's something I would never do in real life, but And that is something I'm trying to tune myself out of doing. I gotta stop.
We really gotta train Driver Simon not to go for such unrealistic, opportunistic dive bombs like that only work with this year's AI. But man, oh man, Driver Simon is in the points after that. P9, baby. Despite all the excitement at the Spark Racing team, we still have 70 more laps to go, and that's a long time to try and stay in P9. Especially knowing that we got the likes of Perez and Leclerc somewhere behind us.
God, behind me. Does not want to be behind me for long.
And right away, going into lap 2, we are already fighting for our place in the points. We just managed to stay ahead, but the Spark Racing team orders Driver Simon to let the Red Bull driver through before the DRS is enabled so we can use him to tow us for a few laps. Holy run-on sentence, Driver Simon.
I'm just stuck behind ourselves, behind Perez.
P10, you're currently in P10. Perez ahead. They're on fresh softs. Okay, shoes behind you now. Less than a second separates you. They're on fresh softs. Okay, so gap to the leader is 9.5 seconds. 16 laps now until your pit window opens.
However, in our desperation to stay within DRS length of him, Driver Simon receives his first track limits warning only 3 laps into the Grand Prix.
I haven't made that mistake since F1 2020.
We do lose the DRS by lap 5, but thanks to some scuffles behind, we are able to hold on to P10 for just a little while longer.
Okay, push. Gap to the car behind. 1.5 seconds.
Driver Simon makes another track limits error going through turn 8.
Ah, fuck.
So we have now over 65 laps to drive on our toes to avoid any penalties. Nice. We just like making things harder for ourselves just for the fun of it, you know? Just Spark Racing team things.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes time.
Only 10 minutes away?
So Mark is telling us that rain is not forecasted past the halfway point of this Grand Prix, but only 10 minutes away now. So we are hoping we can stay out on these softs and go directly onto inters. But before we get to that stage in the race, we currently have a Leclerc right behind us to deal with.
Leclerc is behind you. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on fresh softs.
We again order Driver Sam to let him by as to not ruin our race and to use him as a tow to catch up to the cars and championship points ahead. He does do a better job following behind the Ferrari than the Red Bull, and much to our pleasant surprise, Perez left a bit of a mess in his wake while making his way to the front. On lap 8, we have caught up back to the points. It's times like these where the AI can be a bit unpredictable that can cause Driver Sam to lose a front wing or something, so we have to be very careful following a gaggle of cars like this. The faster Ferrari will be itching to get through the slower cars, which may open doors for us, but again, also more opportunities to bruise our front nose. Let's be methodical about this, Driver Simon. We actually have a lot on the line on this race for once. Jesus, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Be careful. Seriously, we nearly lost the rear end there too. God damn. Alright, that was your one chance, Charles. Let's go, Driver Simon. Get it done.
Sorry, Charles, you're so slow.
Sorry, Charlie. Something about a gap, and you totally should have overtaken the Alpine way earlier, bro.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
Charles ain't done with us though, and he attacks us right back going into turn 1. We were afraid that was close enough to lose the DRS to the train ahead, but thanks to some of their own scuffles, we are right back where we want to be.
Now I don't have DRS. Oh, I do. Any more than you already have.
With a hungry and now vengeful Charles behind us, we have no choice but to overtake the Alpine. Woo. Driver Simon did have to drain a lot of his battery to catch up. Now that the cars are ahead made up and no longer squabbling, we decide to let the Alpine through a lap later to again use as another tow.
Oh my god, you're freaking slow.
Okay, we lost the position. Try to keep focus.
So slow on braking, especially right after they overtake you.
Charles seems to have caught up with his own drama behind us and now has a bit of a gap between us.
Bottas is behind you. Okay, car behind trailing us, 2.1 seconds.
A proper DRS train seems to have formed with the four of us, as now driver Simon has tucked himself away to recharge the battery and preserve tire life. The overtaking and action come to a standstill for the next few laps.
Rain is inbound and we're expecting it in around 5 minutes. 5 minutes until the rain. Gap to your teammate behind is 12.0 seconds.
Gosh, you can't mount an attack on the AlphaTauri.
Other than driver Simon hounding Mark for weather updates, the Spark Racing team is now just monitoring the weather, hoping we can retain track position and go directly to inters.
5 minutes until rainfall expected, 5 minutes until rain. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
As by lap 18, cars are already beginning the box for their second set of softs.
Oh, somebody was pitting. I forgot what the guy was. It threw me off. Oh shoot, there's a Mercedes behind me.
Okay, Russell's behind you now. Okay, the gap is less than a second.
Don't you do
They're
it.
on fresh softs. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining.
We let a feisty Russell on fresh softs through, more for our own safety than anything.
Oh god, people are boxing now.
And with that, the DRS train is officially broken, and all hell has broken loose.
The AI really wants to spice it up for me, huh?
Like 3 wide into turn 2 kind of hell broken loose.
Russell's losing a lot of time right now to his race. Oh well.
Seeing the sudden traffic form in front of us, the Spark Racing team called driver Simon in to box on lap 19. A lot of cars are going pretty long on softs, including Nico it seems. We can only hope Haas have our overcut into Inter strategy in mind for Nico. But unfortunately, we can only control our side of the garage. Thankfully, we don't have full control I guess, otherwise it would have been game over right there. What a terrifying wake-up call.
Wow, the game saved me there, but I did lose a place, but...
We rightfully lose a position to the Ferrari going into the pits with that near race-ending blunder.
I shouldn't have survived that when I lost control of the car coming into the pit lane. I'm an idiot. Alright.
Okay, go, go,
Not a
go.
bad stop. Not a bad stop at all.
Job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted.
We emerged P17 from the pits with the AlphaTauri of Tsunoda right behind us. The visors begin picking up some rain droplets, and so begins the wet portion of this already action-packed race.
Oh well. We're still in this race. We still got 50 more to go.
We got a couple of cars on dying tires ahead of us, including our teammate Nico directly in front of us. Things start kicking off for him, which opens the door for driver Simon. But instead, we awkwardly stub our toe going in, and now we have to make it ugly against our teammates. I legitimately cannot wait for the first and second driver dynamic in the upcoming driver career mode. I'm going to go all in with the career mode and upload weekly. So do subscribe if you are interested in that. I am trying to get 500 subs before the drop of the new game, and we are well on our way. Anyways, I digress. With that, we dispatch the Williams as well. So, even if Haas keeps Nico out long enough for the crossover period into Inters, he really doesn't gain anything now that we've overtaken him on track. I told you how powerful the undercut is against a dumb AI.
Okay, conditions are going to keep deteriorating for 10 minutes at least. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. At least another 10 minutes until this rain evens out. Stay alert out there. Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now.
So, after a few laps of a semi-dry track, the track decides it's had enough foreplay and suddenly self-lubricates within a single lap's time, and on lap 23, driver Salmon and the Haas team hatched the same plan.
Okay mate, don't worry about the damage. I've got some new strategy options if you go and check your MFD. Copy that.
Yep, read my mind. For once, we're on the same wavelength. Wow, it's so wet so quickly.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Oh my god. I had a problem. I had a problem with my wheel. I lost a lot of time there coming into the pits.
DRS has been disabled by the steward. DRS will be offline.
Fast stop for me. Hopefully Nico gets a good stop.
Nico,
We emerge on lap 24 in P15.
see these tyres through to the end now.
So, we somehow went from fighting from P9 to now P15 with a sizable gap to Bottas ahead.
And you've got P15, P15, Bottas ahead. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 6.5 seconds.
This is where watching more real-life Grand Prix would probably help, but how the heck did we lose so much places like that? Like, my understanding of races and strategies are not at a level where I can even perform a proper post-mortem of this race.
Lost out so much.
So, we asked driver Simon to ready the change to slicks already as we scramble to find a solution for this race. We're hoping to go for a soft medium or just medium to the end depending on the crossover period.
How much longer?
Inters look like the best
Oh
time
my
for
god,
now.
you're useless,
okay,
man.
so the gap to the car ahead, 8.1 seconds.
And so far, driver Simon keeps his head down and keeps his consistency on lock. It doesn't seem like the rain is getting any better anytime soon, but after the last 3 race weekends, driving in the rain has become way more enjoyable. Our time in Dirt Rally 2 has a lot to do with it, to be honest.
The rain's getting worse, be very careful.
Finally, he tells me something I need to know.
Anyways, on lap 29, we get graced with our 4th red flag of the season. I'll have to check the replay on what caused it. Editor Simon, do your thing.
So it's still wet.
We resume the race on lap 31. It is still raining, but not enough for full wets. And with the 5 red lights on again, someone's turned them off again, and we are off once more in Spielberg! An even getaway for driver 7, but for whatever reason, we experienced what was called a real stroll move going into turn 1, and we nearly end our race early by pegging the Ferrari in front of us. We are on full sim damage, dear viewers, but nothing can break the power of American manufacturing, and so we decided to go 3 wide through turn 2.
Good there. With the simulation gods.
And of course, send the AI woo, papaya, into turn 3.
I don't know.
Nice catch, driver Simon. We somehow get through with no contact and get a better exit, and we are back in the points, baby.
Moving to P8 now.
Nice. I'll take it.
We do not want a gap to form, but we also don't want to push past our limits. If we can play the same game plan earlier of using strategic toes, finishing in the points shouldn't be too much of an ask. That, of course, is the assumption that we don't bib the strategy when we cross over back to slicks.
Oh, that's a little grip.
But it is here, in the fast corners, where we lose the most. Oh wait, what have we here? Holy moly. Go, 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 yeah, whoa, woo, yeah. That's how you do that, baby. We saw the gap and we went for it. Thank you, Mr. Red Bull. What a Ben Daly move. Man, I don't know what is more Marduk than that, baby. P4. We are starting on the 2nd row of the grid for the 2nd restart of this Grand Prix. Holy shit, what a turn of events. And the conditions have deteriorated enough to warrant the full wets. We still have 50% of the race to go, so this should be very interesting, dear viewers. And with that, the 5 red lights resume on lap 33. And someone's turned them off once more, and we are off racing for the 3rd time today. Not the best getaway with a lot of wheel spin causing driver Simon to nearly run into the Mercedes, but we just managed to get alongside him going into turn 1. Whew. We barely make it out of there, and unfortunately we fall back to P5 going up the hill.
Oh my goodness, there's no grip. Oh my god, there's no grip!
Despite losing touch to the cars ahead, which is pretty much on brand for driver Simon, we have an opportunity to pull ahead of the cars behind us. But after a Code Brown moment going through our toughest corner, the racing is right back on.
I'm alive there. Oh my god, this is so precarious. This is worse than...
Driver Simon is just managing to stay ahead while also pestering Mark for updates on how long the rain will last. Something he refuses to outright tell us for some reason.
It's hard to say if Inter's all wet, so better right now.
Dude, you're useless. I guess we're stuck in wet for the time being. I have to let the Red Bull by safely. There's no point in holding him back. Yeah. Red Bull engine can't do shit against Ferrari engine. Oh, Nico, what happened, buddy?
Nico's coming in for his stop now.
On lap 37, he finally gives us a proper estimate.
ETA on this rain clearing up in about 10 minutes. Just keep your concentration out there, you're doing well. Inters and wets will probably have very similar pace at the moment. Okay, gap
Finally.
ahead is 5.3 seconds.
The transition from wets to inters or vice versa is always a tricky one where you really have to judge based purely on feel and tire temperatures if you don't want to rely on the in-game strategy team, which we desperately do not. Driver Simon feels like the crossover period is coming and prematurely sets the tires in the MFD. Oh shoot, I guess we're out of fresh inters.
That's interesting. Oh yeah, it's really drying up the track. I think I might hit the box.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
So, he calls for the box to kind of act as a bluff, but when he notices the Red Bull coming in, driver Simon quickly changes lane and decides to box as well.
Okay, you're doing well out there. Keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain.
Alright, we'll see how this do. Go back to used intermediates.
Thankfully, our team was ready and we have a clean stop.
I can go about 20,
Go, go, go. That was a fantastic
20 laps
stop.
on softs, no problem.
We emerge on lap 38 as P11, and driver Simon is already getting ready for the switch to slicks. Both the Spark Racing team and the Haas team can have a rare celebration in the garage as we actually managed to successfully overtake with a proper pit stop. We improve our position back to P4 when the rest of the field follows.
Russell is in the pits.
Nice, we got him.
3 seconds.
We still got 30 laps to go, and we have Sainz a few seconds ahead of us and a feisty Perez behind.
Good work, we're in P4. Okay, Sainz is ahead of you. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 5.
You wish,
3
Red Bull.
seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. Perez behind. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on a fresh set of inters. Our gap to first place is 24.0 seconds. Radar showing a clear patch on its way with about 10 more minutes of this rain. Inters seem to be the fastest tyre for now.
I really hope Nico got a lot of places for that switch too. I believe he went in the lap early for that. Oh, Red Bull cannot keep up with me right now. I should probably start pushing.
The track's drying, but it's going to take a while to clear the standing water offline. Don't start thinking about slicks just yet.
Warm up track position or fresher tires this time around? Mediums to the end or softs, mediums? Or even softs. I think I have 2 extra softs. And I lose so much time every time I talk. I really do.
Thanks to the wet conditions, we are able to stay ahead of the Red Bull driver.
Thankfully, that Red Bull engine cannot keep up with my Haas for some reason. Or the Ferrari.
The line is really dry enough yet to start thinking about slicks. Let's hold on to the inters for a little while longer.
Should I just go medium to the end? If only I had a chat. I'd make you guys vote and use this text-to-speech to tell me the result of that vote. Stop talking. Yeah, honestly, I gotta stop talking. I lose so much time there every single time. Yeah. If I do talk, I should just talk on the straights.
Driver Simon, when he is on his game, can actually be a competent driver. It just needs to last not only in the duration of a 100% race distance Grand Prix, but over the course of a 23 race season. I am actually starting to look forward to the Spark Racer team reboot for F124, where we will restart our journey in F2. It will allow Driver Sam to have a clean slate and record going into the future of this channel. I feel like I've really hit a rhythm and style in the last 3 career mode videos, and I genuinely forget I started this career mode almost 8 months ago. Anyways, I digress. Driver Simon has been pestering away at Mark for weather updates, and it finally comes in on lap 46. Mediums to the end. DRS has also been enabled, so the game has officially announced that slicks are the faster tires. The team have another clean pit stop, and we merge out in P4 with Hamilton a good distance away, and Perez still just behind us on fresh hards.
Nice. Great job, team. Let's just see this to the end now for like 20 more laps.
It's Hamilton ahead. Okay, so the gap to the car ahead, 11.4 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Perez is behind you. We're leading the car behind by 1.4 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Okay, gap to leader, 13.9 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Okay, you've got 25 laps to go.
25 more laps.
Now that the track is bone dry, there is no point in trying to hold back a Red Bull at their home track, so we let Perez through right before snagging a couple DRS toes from the Mexican.
He's the boss.
Leclerc behind. Less than a second separates you. They're on fresh medium.
Despite the toe, we have a monster of a lineup behind us. Ferraris, McLarens, and another Red Bull.
Point 1.
I can try just tucking behind them for the rest of the race.
P4 was nice while it lasted, I guess.
But they're so fast there.
Sainz makes a lunge, but for whatever reason, driver Simon decides to make it difficult for him instead of just letting him through like Perez. I guess I guess driver Simon still harbors some resentment from our encounter in Spain, huh?
Take the inside line.
Sainz eventually does overtake us, and without his toe and DRS, we get overtaken by Piastri as well.
Let's just try to stick behind this faster car. Oh, we got world champion Max attacking behind me. It's not gonna last long.
We are able to follow behind the McLaren way easier than we could the front runners, but that does not save us from Max Verstappen, who overtakes us on lap 52. Hopefully, we can catch up to the cars ahead in the wake of Max's overtakes, much like how we caught up back to the DRS train earlier in this race. That does seem to be the last of the cars to worry about now that we just have an Abalone to worry about 3 seconds behind us.
Oh, got it.
That's Albon behind you, and the gap behind us is 3.2 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 6 laps old. Your last lap time was a 1 minute 08.7.
If I can conserve my tires and my battery behind Piastri, I might be able to attack him near the end if I can stick behind him. And that is a big if.
Driver Simon finally makes his 3rd track limits mistake again on turn 8, which rewards us a 3-second time penalty for our troubles.
Finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done.
Felt it right as I did it. Tires are doing really well. Albon's about 3 seconds behind me, so I guess P7 is long gone, but P8 is still up for grabs.
Now, driver Simon has a bit of a pressure to finish 3 seconds in front of Alex. These singular points can be super crucial for our overall championship battle.
Albon behind. Okay, the gap behind is 7.5 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 8 laps old. Time last lap was a...
But as long as we tuck ourselves behind Piastri and keep our mistakes minor, we should be set for the rest of the race based on our pace. Oh, it would also help if Piastri doesn't go defensive when he doesn't need to, for fuck's sake. We just both lose time, man. The AI being unpredictable can always lead to driver Simon making mistakes, so keep your head down, driver Simon.
Doesn't seem like Alex can catch up. Behind, so I might want to overtake Piastri just for the heck of it on the last lap.
Keep managing your tyres, manage your tyres.
Doing a pretty good job. 17 more laps. Train isn't doing anything. That they're stuck in a DRS train. Classic. I'm not gonna use DRS. A lot of time those last 2 corners. Oh man, it's the one time I race without a workout shirt on, and it's the one race I'm sweating like a pig.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 13.9 seconds.
Woohoo! Seeing Alonso make that save in China was absolutely crazy, actually. Now that I do a little bit of sim racing, understanding how inhuman that was for him to be able to save that kind of a shunt.
You're sat in P8, well done. Piastri's ahead of you, less than a second separates you. They're on fresh mediums. Russell behind, our gap behind is 7.7 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards.
Russell.
Distance to the leader is 20.
He might ruin my day.
Seconds. Look after these tyres now, we want to finish the race on this compound. 13 laps to go.
I have a feeling once our medium start to die out, it's going to drop that 7-second gap to 3. And then there goes my P8. Damn, that freaking time penalty. No, you cannot do this. You must say something to the steward, please. Please. I'm good. I'm good, Mark, actually. I know what I'm doing. Probably one of my favorite turns, actually, that right-hand turn. I'll get Piastri, don't worry, I'm not going to attack you. Be a good boy, don't defend.
We've entered the final stage of this Grand Prix, the coast home. But George Russell, of course, has to keep us on our toes as he is quickly gaining on us as well.
Okay, Russell's behind you now. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 6.2 seconds.
No.
Okay, they're on fresh hards, and the time last lap was a 1 minute 08.1.
No, Russell, don't do this to me. You know what it's like, being in a back market team. My foot got caught in the freaking clutch. Thankfully, I'm in a fairly chill section of the race. Tire conservation is really cool. This is conserving tires at play right now. Which is way above our weight class today. Definitely need to race difficulty for this race, but don't you get away from me, buddy. Don't you do it.
If it wasn't for the 3-second time penalty, the Spark Racing team would totally egg driver Simon on to overtake Piastri, as we clearly have the pace, and tucking ourselves behind him can actually cause us to lose time now that the tire degradation has set in for the AI. After almost 15 laps behind Piastri, and now under pressure from George behind us, driver Simon utilizes his freshly harvested battery to overtake Piastri on lap 68.
Oh, shit. That wasn't it. Lost a lot of time there. Oh well. Still taken. Oh, you idiot.
But of course, Piastri ain't gonna make this easy, and due to his own tire wear, driver Simon was unable to run away with the DRS like he planned.
Damn, I can't actually break away like I thought I would. Barely being in front of him with my battery. Probably lost a lot of time. Oh shoot. To Russell with that overtake.
Okay, you just started the final lap of the race. Final lap.
Finally gonna finish on a lead lap.
So we need to sloppily lunge again coming out of the final DRS straight. We have to drain our battery, which doesn't last long, just to try and stay ahead of Piastri. And on the final lap, George is in the mix for the battle for P7.
Good job. Nice overtake.
Nice. P7 on track. P9 probably. What?
Right, we've got enough.
That was a clean overtake, and honestly driver Simon thought might have been enough. But no, this is going to go to the final few corners, dear viewers. Damn this penalty, cause damn, this is an awesome battle for a career high of P7 on track. Woo! Alright, George Russell managed to steal P8 on track from Piastri, and with our penalty, he also takes P7 from us as well. We fall down to P10 as our battle costs us a lot of time, but hang on, wait. Enough about driver Simon for a moment. Holy shit, Fernando Alonso, what? Look at that. What a performance from one of the GOATs. Holy shit. Even though it's a game, it is still pretty cool to see.
Viewers,
being able to keep up the lap time.
what a race. Freaking, we gotta watch this. I gotta put full screen for this one.
Aston Martin's performance today has shown that they can be
Damn.
competitive with the biggest names in the sport. They're making their way
Formula
out to the podium
One
as we speak, and the reaction from the crowd
is, I don't know, I was gonna start with that,
incredibly
but
uplifting.
Fernando Alonso. Woo! Look at that podium. Dang, good job, Lando. Aston Martin can finally afford some eyebrows for their staff.
His performance might completely overlook ours, to be honest, but I can't really blame the F1 fans for that. I would be losing my shit too if Fernando won.
Have made up some solid
Ah,
ground
I
today.
could not get
So,
P10
Anthony
or
Davis,
P9.
Who would you rank as your driver of
But
the
hey, we got our first
Fernando Alonso,
points.
Wherever he is, whatever team
this
he's
up.
in, when is he not just brilliant? He'll give you a performance every time, just like he's done today.
Let's move on to the constructors.
Anyways, back to a quick race debrief. If we had a cleaner overtake in Piastri on lap 68, we may have gotten a P9 from Lando, but taking a crucial point away from Williams and Alfa Romeo is a huge bonus for us. What an eventful race. As long as it was, it also felt like it went by in a breeze.
Hey, Haas is on the board.
We have one more race in Silverstone before the summer break contract renewal period. I do hope you guys subscribe and stick around for that part of the career mode, as I'll need your guys' help in determining the future of driver Simon. Should we continue and finish up the 23 season in F1 23 and hop directly into driver Simon's second season in F1 24, or should we start new in F2 again? As according to the marketing of this year's game, choosing a driver academy and performing well in F2 should help determine your place in your first season of Formula 1. But I'm a little skeptical about that, because that's what they've been advertising ever since F1 2020 when they introduced F2. And so far, your performance in F2 and driver academy has no influence in your F1 career. You can biff the entire season and still be accepted into the top teams. But I digress, as that is a discussion we'll have next week at Silverstone. After Silverstone, I should say, because our performances there may not only swerve the opinions of the paddock, but it also may sway your opinions as well. I do hope I see you guys there, but if not, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll probably see you never.